Eddie here from Aussie Powersports. Here at Aussie HQ, we're fitting up our Hunter Bullbar Siderail Kit to this Wolverine X2. Now this is the newer current model. It's had a slight redesign to the ROPS tubes, and it's also got the utility back on it, so it's a bit longer tray than the previous model. So we'll fit up this Bullbar Siderail Kit, which will give us some added protection for the front as well as the side plastics to help protect your ride, as well as giving it that better look when it's out bashing around the paddocks. So the fitment of the bull bar itself is fairly straightforward. Just has some U-shaped brackets either side. They're going to slip over this OEM nudge bar. And then down below, two 90-degree brackets, and they're going to pick up some factory thread locations, which are in this below the winch mount here. Now, as you can see, this vehicle has one of our skid plates mounted, and the skid plate uses the same threads in the front. So this is just going to slide over the top of everything, like so. Put a bolt through the back of these clamps and tighten those up around the nudge bar, and then down here we'll use the same bolts out of the skid plate kit. Just pull them out and then put them back in, and it will bolt both the bull bar and the skid plate back into those factory threads. So as this is running our skid plate as well, I just going to remove the bolts from the front of this skid plate, and then the bull bar will come and sit over the top of it, and these bolts and spaces behind as well will go back in, because both kits use the same mounting holes. If you don't have a skid plate, your bull bar comes with spaces as well, and they just need to go between the bull bar and the factory threading here. So yeah, take the bolts out the front of the skid plate. Slip the bar over, put the two bolts through the back of the U-shaped clamps up here, which will just hold it loosely. Put these bolts back up into the factory threads. Nuts and bolts on the back of the U-clamps, and then we'll just leave it loose, so as we go onto the side rails, we've got a bit of adjustment and movement between it all. But that's basically it for the bull bar itself. So I've just placed the bar over the factory nudge bar. The trick for these is, when you're doing them by yourself, just to hold the bar so it doesn't just fall off onto the ground on me while I'm putting the bolt through the clamp. Just got a quick clamp, just holding the bar there. That way I've got enough hands to slide the bolt through the U-clamp. Get the nut washer on. Let's just get the nut on to start with, out the washer, and use the bolt and nut to squeeze that clamp down closer. Obviously it's opened up to go over the bar, and then it clamps down with the tension of the bolt. So hold it there. Now that's just enough thread, basically one bolt's worth, just to hold it. We'll do the same the other side. The two upper mounts on, I haven't got the washers on, I've only just got the nuts, a nut thread for a nut to go through. I'll loosely get the bottom ones on at this stage, then we can go back one at a time, take the nut off, put the washer on now that the clamps have closed up, put the nut back on, and that should be the bar done. Two upper clamps. Once I had all 4 bolts started, I had these clamps closed up a bit around the OEM tube. Took the nut off one, put the washer and then the nut back on, tightened it up, and did the same to the other side. Just make it a bit easier sometimes, put the nut on and use the bolt and nut to close those clamps, that extra few mil, so then you can fit the washer and get the nut back on easier. And the 2 lower mounts down below. I did actually change those bolts. The ones that were in the skid plate are a dome Allen key drive bolt. I just changed it to a hex head because of the way the bull bar bracket sits. It's much easier to get a ratchet spinner in there than it is an Allen key. So. Okay, so now the bull bar's on, we'll go onto the side rails. The basic idea will be the upper side rail will fit into the bull bar and to the ROPS connection up here. Then the lower side rail will fit in these 2 locations at the back of the tube and also to the upper side rail. Just to mount the upper side rail, so you need to remove these ROPS bolts that come with the factory, replaced with ones out of the kit. I'll just loosen these off. Now, where your upper side rail is going to slide into the bull bar, on the piece that's internal, that goes internal to the bull bar, there's these little spring clips, and there's a hole on the back of the bull bar, and a corresponding hole in the back side of the tube. So these just squash in, not too much. And push until they line up with the hole in the upper side rail. Which then gives you a thread for a locking bolt to go into. So each tube connection in this kit will be an inner piece, goes inside the larger full-size outer piece. One of these spring brackets needs to go into each. So it just lines up like so. Another one up there. Now you have a spacer comes in the kit. It basically just sits inside your ROPS connection so that you've then got a flat surface for the bracket on the side rail to bolt against. And you've also got some replacement 12mm high tensile bolts. The bolt goes through the side rail, through the spacer, and back into the holes of the ROX connection. Washer and nut. Just loosely on there. And then you're locking, you've got a bolt, spring washer, and flat washer. So these spring brackets, the inner tube is slotted vertically and the outer tube is slotted horizontally. So that you can move the thread around relative to where. That's a nice flush finish there. Everything's just finger tight at the moment, that's how we'll leave it for now. Just makes everything else further down the track easier if you've got that room. Is to remove the plastic cap on the factory rock sliders. If you have an X4, you don't need to do this. If you've got an X2, you do. And you have this piece. So it's a bit of tube with a flat with some mounting holes on it, and there's a hole underneath this OEM tube about here which will line up with this hole in this mounting device. So it just slides in with the hole facing down. Before you do that though, you put your spring bracket in and line that up. Same again, just finger tight. And that'll give us somewhere for the rear lower side rail to mount to. The lower side rail has 3 fixing locations as well as the bolt through here, so 4 places total. Obviously this will go up into the upper side rail with the same spring bracket and bolt situation. At the back, it's a bracket like so. And it's going to line up with the 2 holes in that bracket we slid into the rock slider. Like that. Like that, like that. Then you'll see you'll pick up your factory holes here and here. So we'll undo those 2 and then get ready to bolt it all in. So we're already mount the lowest side rail, so I think we'll slide him up into there. That this thing on should sort of hold a little bit. Remove the factory bolt from this lower plastic foot guard and from this frame protector. We've got some replacement 6mm parts in the kit. Just going to bolt the lower side rail on so we can get these plastics aligned correctly. Let's get that started. hit this front. Okay, so that's the basics, getting them all together. Obviously everything needs to be tightened up and torqued up. When you do that, do each sort of connection a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter, that way you can keep adjusting as you go. And obviously repeat for the left hand side on this one. Exactly the same but mirror image. So that is Bullbar Siderail Kit on a new model X2. So we've got our upper side rail on, we've got our bracket in the OEM tube at the rear, so everything's ready to go. So we're going to mount the lower side rail now. This is with our rival X2 skid plate. So I'm just going to remove this mounting bolt here. This mounting bolt here. Because we'll reuse those same holes with the side rail mounts. So I think the best way to do this is start at the top front, work your way rearwards. So we've got our spacer bracket with our thread at the end of that tube. There, it can't fall off. Got the lower side rail just hanging from the upper side rail at the moment. I'm going to try and line all this up and get the bolts in. Got all the bolts except this middle one in. Well, that's it, all loosely bolted together. You do the same for the other side. Then go through and tighten everything up, piece by piece. 3/4 tighten everything, go back and fully tighten everything, making sure all your joins are nice, get everything square and centered. There you have it. Okay guys, completed install of the Hunter Bullbar Siderail Kit for the 2021 and newer Wolverine X2s. This is the utility model, but this kit will also fit the XTR model. You can see that it adds a fair bit of protection to the front of the vehicle, as well as around this front wheel area, and then the plastics with the lower rock slider. If you're interested in this kit, or similar kits for other UTVs and ATVs, hit up the team here at Aussie Powersports or go to the website at www.aussiepowersports.com.au. Until next time, ride harder, go further.